Love is passion, obsession, someone you can't live without. Fall head over heels. Find someone you can love like crazy, and who will love you the same way back. Forget your head, and you listen to your heart. There's no sense living your life without this. To make the journey and not fall deeply in love, well, you haven't lived a life at all. But you have to try, because if you haven't tried, you haven't lived. Bill Parrish, a prominent figure in the media industry, is considering the possibility of merging with another major media corporation. Concurrently, his eldest daughter, Allison, is planning an intricate 65th birthday celebration for him. In addition, Susan, Bill's younger daughter and a resident in internal medicine, is romantically involved with Drew, a member of the board of directors at Bill's company. Contemplating the prospect of marriage for Susan and sensing that she lacks a profound connection, Bill advises her to wait for a more impactful romantic experience, likening it to being swept off her feet by the striking force of love. As the company helicopter touches down, Bill hears a mysterious voice, which he tries to dismiss. Upon reaching his office, he experiences intense chest pains, and the enigmatic voice resurfaces. As Susan studies in a coffee shop, she meets an energetic young man who expresses the possibility of a relationship being as impactful as lightning striking. They form a connection, leaving Susan amazed. However, she leaves without learning his name. Unaware to her, shortly after their encounter, the man is tragically fatally struck by multiple cars. Later that night, Bill once again hears the mysterious voice, prompting him to meet it alone in a room. The voice slowly takes on a tangible form, revealing itself as Death now inhabiting the body of the young man Susan met earlier. Death explains that Bill's heartfelt conversation with his daughter intrigued him. Death proposes a deal. As long as Bill serves as his guide on Earth, Bill will be spared from death. They both return to the dinner table, feeling pressured to introduce Death to the family. Awkwardly, they invent the name Joe Black for Death. Joe, lacking refined human qualities, struggles with basic actions like drinking and eating. He later navigates through the grand house, attempting to adapt. Susan, perplexed by Joe's behavior, notices that his character is different from the man she met in the coffee shop. Bill loses control as events spiral out of hand. Drew covertly collaborates with Parrish Communications, leveraging Bill's peculiar actions and dependence on Joe to persuade the board of directors to oust Bill from the chairman position. Exploiting details obtained from Bill's son-in-law, Quince, Drew advocates for the approval of the merger, a move that goes against Bill's current opposition to the merger. Fascinated by Joe's naive actions, Susan develops intense feelings for him. Joe is now being driven by human desires and a compelling attraction to her. Eventually, they engage in a physical relationship. Later, Joe asks Susan about their next steps, and she responds with, "It'll come to us." Bill accidentally walks in on them, witnessing their intimate moment. Bill confronts Joe with anger regarding his relationship with Susan. Bill then hints to Susan that Joe's presence will be short-lived. In Susan's hospital, Joe engages with a terminally ill elderly woman who desires death. Recognizing Joe's identity, they delve into a conversation about the essence of life. The woman aids Joe in realizing the precarious blending of two worlds. When Joe inquires if she is prepared to depart, she consents. On the occasion of Bill's birthday, Joe announces his plan to bring Susan with him. Bill implores Joe to understand the essence of true love, emphasizing the importance of honesty and sacrifice, and urges him not to take Susan's life away. During the party, aware that his demise is imminent, Bill reconciles with his daughters. Susan confesses her love to Joe, expressing that it has been present since their encounter in the coffee shop. Joe subtly hints at the approaching end of his time. Death, realizing Susan's affection for the man from the coffee shop rather than him, feels crushed. Without revealing his true identity, He senses Susan's mystical intuition about him. Struggling to grasp the intensity of their connection, Susan resists acknowledging Joe as death. Joe recognizes the need to set aside his own desires and permit Susan to lead her life. Quince offers an apology to Bill for sabotaging the company, and Bill extends forgiveness. Joe helps Bill in reclaiming control of his company by revealing Drew's deceitful business practices to the board, by posing as an IRS agent, and threatens to imprison Drew. During their father-daughter dance, Susan and Bill bid farewell. As fireworks illuminate the sky, Joe stands on a hilltop above the party with tears in his eyes. Bill approaches him, and they exchange thoughts. Bill inquires if he should be fearful, to which Joe responds, "Not a man like you." Amidst the distant fireworks, Susan observes Joe and her father traversing a bridge at the hill's summit, disappearing from sight on the opposite side. Susan is left in shock as Joe emerges, bewildered and alone. He reverts to being the young man from the coffee shop, unharmed and confused about his surroundings. Sensing her father's absence, Susan realizes that the connection she once had with this young man has returned. Wondering about their next steps, she asks, "What do we do now?" He responds, "It'll come to us," and they descend hand in hand towards the gathering below. Thanks for watching. To catch all the latest from us, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified as soon as a new video drops. We'll see you in the next one.